Well, good Friday morning. This is today's math e-learning. This comes out of Google Classroom assignment page 244 to 245, numbers 7 through 11. The skills that we're going to look at today that review some things that we've already learned are percentages, rates, area of rectangles and triangles, area of trapezoids, and algebraic expressions. Okay, let's dive right in. So, number 7 is the percentage question. What is 20% of 60? So remember, 20%, I'm just going to rewrite the problem, 20% of 60. So recall, the way to change a percent back to a decimal is to move the decimal 2 times back to the left, and it equals 0.20. So my question now is 0.20, and remember of is another way of saying multiply 60. So 0.20 times 60. So if I just do a little side multiplication problem here, 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0, and now multiplying by the 6, remember it's not really a 6, it's a 60, so I'll put a 0 here and then continue. 6 times 0 is 0, 6 times 2 is 12. Add everything up, and I have 1,200, or do I? I have two numbers behind the decimal point, so I need to move it twice. So my real answer is 12. So that's how you find the percentage of a number using this method. Let's move on to number 8. If 4 cats share equally a bag of treats, each cat gets 14 treats. Suppose 6 cats share equally the bag of the treats. How many treats does each cat get? Okay, so what they're telling us is that we have a certain number of treats. Let's just call it T. That's how many treats we have. And if 4 cats share it, sharing is another way of saying dividing. So if 4 cats share that amount of treats, it will be 15. So treats divided by 4 equals 15. So remember in algebra, we want to get the letter all by itself. So if we see here that the t is not by itself, there's a 4 underneath it, which means they're dividing it by 4. I can multiply both sides by 4, and I will get t equals 120. So if the amount of treats is 120, now they're telling me that what's going to happen if 6 cats share it? Well, if I have 120 treats and I have 6 cats that are going to share it, it will be 120 divided by 6. So 120 divided by 6 is 20. So the answer for number 8, or problems like it, would be number 20, would be 20 treats. So you just have to look at the problem carefully, find out what the amount of treats are by using the method I just showed you, and then go ahead and try number 8 when you have time. Okay, number 9. Find the area of the shaded region. So I'm going to draw a rectangle first. Okay, there's my rectangle, and I'm going to label the sides, and then I'm going to put a triangle right in the middle, and I'm going to label it as well. Okay, so if I have this and I want to find the area of the shaded region, let me shade in so you know what is the shaded region. So I want to know how much of this rectangle is left that does not include the triangle. Okay, so let's find the area of the rectangle first. So the area of the rectangle is base times height. The base is 7. The height is 6. So the area of the rectangle is 42. Now let's find the area of the triangle, because basically what I want to do is subtract the area of the triangle out of the area of the rectangle. So the area of the triangle, it's A equals 1/2 base times height. So the base is 3. Let me clean this up a bit. It's 1/2 times 3 times the height, which is also 3. So the area equals 1/2 times 9, because that's what 3 times 3 is. So half of 9 is 4.5. So the area of the shaded region is going to be 42 minus 4.5. So remember, I line up decimals when I am subtracting or adding. Okay, I'm going to move to a red color. So I'm going to borrow, regroup. 10 minus 5 is 5. Regroup again. 11 minus 4 is 7. Bring down the 3, and then bring down the decimal. So my area for just the shaded region is 37.5. First, I found the area of the entire rectangle. Then I found the area of just the triangle, and I subtracted the triangle from the rectangle, and that gave me just the part that is shaded. And that's how you do a problem like that. Okay, number 10. What's the area of this trapezoid? Okay, so I'm going to draw a trapezoid. And I'm going to make the top 3.5. I'm going to make the base 2, or the bottom 6.5. And I'm going to make the height of the whole thing 5. Okay, now keep in mind, I need to write down the formula for an area of a trapezoid, which is A equals 1/2 times the height. Base 1 plus base 2 is what's inside the parentheses. Okay, so whatever letter can be replaced with a number, that's what we need to do. Okay, so A equals 1/2 times the height. The height, in this case, is 5. The base, 1, is this top number, 3.5. Base 2 is the bottom one there, 6.5. Okay, simplify, 1/2 times 5, and then 3.5 plus 6.5 is 10. Okay, now I can multiply 1/2 times 5 first, I can multiply 1/2 times 10 first, or I can multiply 5 times 10 first, and then do the multiply, then do the half. I'm just going to do that. 1/2 times, and then I'll just do 5 times 10, which is 50. Half of 50 is 25. And there's my area for this trapezoid. Okay, let's move on to number 11. This was our last one. We're going to solve this expression, 3x plus 7y, where x equals 0.4 and y equals 2.1. Okay, so rewriting the problem, 3x plus 7y. Wherever I see a y, I'm going to put a 2.1. Wherever I see an x, I'm going to put a 0.4. So here we go. 3 times x, which is 0.4, plus 7 times y, which is 2.1. Okay, 3 times 0.4 is 1.2. Plus, if I did 2.1 times 7, you'll see I get 14.7. Okay, if I add those two numbers together, I get 15.9. So that's how you would solve an equation an expression that has two different variables, but the one where they give you what those two letters equal. Okay. Well, now it's your turn. Use this as much as you like. Go to Google Classroom, find the assignment called page 244 to 245, numbers 7 through 11, and work on that. And don't forget to fill out the Google form after you've done it on your paper. Thanks.